Link Lauren, if there was one human being in the world, and I actually mean this, one human being in the world, forget P. Diddy, forget Harvey Weinstein, if there was one celebrity in the world who I would not want to take life advice from, I promise you, it's Prince Harry. Like, the guy has screwed up what was a dream life in a way that is still quite unconscionable. Yet now, Link, we learn that the next part of the book deal, because of course he has to keep writing because he needs the money given the inheritance has gone. So the next stage of the book deal is going to be as a self-help guru, with Rob Shooter reporting, I know, that he is now obsessed with psychology. And Shooter reports, Prince Harry isn't just talking about healing. Insiders say he is now studying it seriously. Sources tell Naughty But Nice the Duke has developed a deep interest in psychology, sparking whispers his next reinvention may come with a workbook. Harry isn't dabbling, he's all in. One insider says, sorry, this is just like comedy to me. He's studying how the mind works and, of course, how his works. And yes, a new book may be coming. Don't be shocked if it's self-help, a source revealed. He thinks he's cracked a few life lessons and wants to share them. It's the next step for a royal who has already made a career out of emotional openness and telling us exactly how he feels about it. He's turned his struggles into a brand. Now he wants to turn it into a guide. Critics may roll their eyes loudly. Harry, not so much. He genuinely believes he's onto something. Whether everyone else does is another story. Still, those close to him say this tracks. He's always searching, always analysing the insider notes. Now he just might start grading the rest of us. The bottom line, he's moving from telling his story to teaching lessons, the source says, ready or not. From Prince to self-help guru, deep breaths, everyone. I mean, Link, this is going to be another disaster. This is the problem. It's going to be another disaster. What on earth could he teach me? Like, how to fall out with every single family member and loved one, how to destroy your parents, how to get so drugged up that you no longer seem to know where you are. Like, no. You can teach me nothing about life, Harry. Literally nothing. Is there a market for this, Link?
I don't think there's a market for this. I also think if your husband or boyfriend starts reading self-help books or even writing a self-help book, your relationship might be in trouble, okay? When your husband is so in trouble and so miserable at the compound in Montecito that he's writing his own self-help book, like, Harry, blink twice if you want out, blink twice. But Harry, he's in a bed of his own making, and I actually think we spend a lot of time in our culture, of course, attacking Meghan Markle, and she deserves it, and she's a grifter, but Prince Harry is just as culpable as Meghan Markle. Like, you are allowing this woman to come in and use your children to sell candles. You allowed this woman to come in and take a wrecking ball to your relationships. You allowed her to go on Oprah and accuse your family of racism. You're allowing her to drag you to Australia on this fake royal tour, which was just a self-promotion opportunity for her. So Prince Harry, I would never take life advice from him. I agree with you, Dan, but I also think he deserves a little bit of the ire because he's allowed Meghan Markle to come in. He brought her into the fold, right? You know, her show was called Confessions of a Female Founder. What she found was a rich, famous husband, and he's let her come in and do all of this. And that's what I think is really scary.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've actually said for years, Link, that this idea that Meghan is entirely to blame for Harry's downfall is not true. And just look, let's just think about William for one moment. William and Catherine, that they're not known, Link, as being people who are really ruthless and really cruel. Like, there's no track record with William and Catherine of them brutally cutting people out of their lives, falling out with family members. In fact, like, Catherine's uncle, Gary, who is a guy who I know, really good guy, actually. But do you remember he was caught up in that big drugs scandal? And Catherine never exhumed him from her life, never ghosted him. And as a result, he still speaks out about her in the most glowing of terms. So what I'm trying to say is that the fact that William has made this decision, and Link, I'm going to say it because I think sometimes it's important to say how resolute William is. And I've obviously done a lot of reporting on William over the years. William would not go to Harry's funeral. And that is I say that not to be cruel, and obviously Harry is a young man and things can change, but you know, when you make a decision, Link, in your life to actually say that someone has pushed you so far and treated your family so terribly that there is no going back. This is not like a feud or a brief moment of like frustration or a brotherly, what do people say, like, you know, a little brotherly
spat or fight.
Yeah, spat. It's not that. This is, you are dead to me because there were certain parameters and lines in place, and if you crossed them, it was going to be over. And what a lot of people are saying in the UK at the moment, Ling, especially in the Royal Rota, because I think they're being influenced by Harry and Meghan at the moment, who are giving the Royal Rota a lot of positive access, and they never used to. So what the line is, oh, William's ruthless. You know, William's ruthless, William's cruel, William's unforgiving. But again, Link, that's why I just like people to go and look back at the facts. Like, have you ever heard, Link, of William treating anyone else like this? I mean, anyone, literally anyone, like a staff member or a friend or another family member? No, not once. Have you ever heard Catherine accused of treating anyone like this? A staff member, a family member, a friend? No, not once. Harry and Meghan, the list is like as long as this notebook. And so the point that I make is that this was a decision that William almost had to make.
What's interesting is with Harry and Meghan, they are the victims in their narrative 365 days a year, right? They don't act like they're in the driver's seat. They act like everything happens to them, right? They're reactive. Even in Prince Harry's book, I know this seems random, but when he talked about wearing the swastika and dressing as a Nazi on Halloween, he somehow tried to blame Catherine and William and other people. It's like, you put the costume on. That was you. You chose to wear that, right? And so he's always going to make everything other people's problem and never take responsibility for his own actions and the horrific things that he has done, right? You're a grown man, be a grown-ass man. But Prince Harry is the definition of a beta male. He's whiny, he doesn't want to work, he's really never had to work, he's a spoiled little brat, okay? And one thing Prince William has that Prince Harry does not is this understanding that the Queen also had, which is we have to keep the machine going, right? We have to serve the monarchy, we have to do our engagements, we have to keep this going for generation after generation because we have so few traditions in society. That's one thing I love about the royal family is the tradition, the pomp, the circumstance, and keeping that going. And so Prince William understands that is the most important thing. So when Prince Harry comes in and accuses him of racism, he lies, he tries to tear the whole system down. He says the firm this, oh, it's all dark and scary. I think Prince William sees that as a direct threat. How could you let someone like that come around you? And the last point I'll say, when someone has taken your private conversations and arguments and put them in a book and gone on national television, allegedly worn a wire. There's reporting recently that the Queen feared she was being recorded by Meghan Markle. So when someone is that slippery and slimy in that sort of Hollywood, Kardashian influencer world where anything goes, anything is up for consumption, how can you even reconcile, right? This isn't like a normal family. Like if we had a falling out, Dan, we could call and reconcile. But with these folks, you're worried it's going to end up in another book, end up in another reality show. Are they going to sell it? And so I understand Prince William being reticent to ever let them back in. I don't think he has any reason to. And also their favorability and popularity is very low. In politics, in the monarchy, in the UK, it's this way in the US. If your favorability is down in the gutter, nobody's like running to reconcile with you or bring you into the fold. They bring nothing to the table.
Exactly. He could never trust them again. And why should he ever trust them again? But I think you also make a good point, Link, which is that actually there's no benefit for William in doing so. I mean, William is completely focused on saving the monarchy. And he knows at the moment things aren't great. Things aren't great. You've got the Andrew problem, you've got a sick king, you've got Harry and Meghan, but there's no benefit for William to bring them back. And I would also say, and maybe this is actually a more relevant line than the funeral, William does not want Harry and will not allow Harry, because it's not just about once he becomes king. William will not allow Harry at his coronation. And of course, that will be the surest sign that there is no potential for reconciliation in the future, because that is going to be the most significant royal event.
Well, what's interesting is if they're trying to paint Prince William as ruthless, and I'm just looking at this as someone who's not in the UK, I don't consume UK media every single day, but if they're trying to paint Prince William as the ruthless one and he's unforgiving to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, hello, they're the ones who left. What are you talking about? Yeah. They were given the royal wedding. They were given a place to live. They were redoing Frogmore. No one even expected them to work that much. I mean, all I know Meghan Markle did is like a cookbook with the Grenfell ladies. Good for her. But no one expected them to work that much. You just had to show up a couple of times to ribbon cuttings and show up at some events. They didn't want to do that. They chose to leave. So why are William and Catherine being painted as villains now? Because they don't want to welcome them back into the fold. You left. It's like we've all been there. Okay, it's from Meghan and Harry's perspective, we've all been there. You break up with the guy and you're like, I'm never talking to you again. Don't ever call me. And then you sit there and you're like, why isn't he calling me? You know what I'm saying? We've all done that before. Don't talk to me again. And then you wonder,
moved on just fine. You know?
Yes. My mom always said, don't talk to me again, because some of the guys, they're like, okay, they never talk to you again. That's Harry and Meghan. They're like, we're leaving. You're going to beg us to come crawling back. You're going to want us to come back because we're beloved. And Prince Harry, his favorability was up here. I remember years and years ago, I remember being a kid, seeing Prince Harry's favorability being the top over almost anyone in the family.
Including the Queen at one point, Link, which is extraordinary when you think about it now. No one else was higher than Queen Elizabeth II, apart from, for a brief period, Prince Harry.
Right, and so it just shows people, you can blow it with the public. And we even see that in US politics. And this is so random and so off topic. But I remember reading this story in this book. Hillary Clinton, when she was running for office, they would show her polls and they would show her data, and she'd be like, those people just don't like me, can never win them over. She would see them as black and white and less gray and less as moving targets. And people, they might love you at one point, they might be done with you the next day. And I think Prince Harry and Meghan Markle got too big for their britches, and they thought, well, everyone's going to love us. We're beloved right now, and we're cool, and we're the young, hot next generation, and she's mixed race. Literally everyone moved on with their lives, and no one cares anymore. And it's interesting, now that no one cares and they've been dropped by Netflix in every deal, they decide to do the royal tour now. It's just like they're scratching and reaching for any...
Keep on causing fights. Okay, they keep on causing fights and picking fights. And this week, Link, they did it with the Daily Mail. And again, I just found this so pathetic, because it's like, why are you going public with this? Like, why is this even a thing? But of course, they leaked to the Guardian, the left-wing Guardian, and moaned. Again, it was just another moan, which ordinary people are like, what are you moaning about? But it was Daily Mail's aggressive reporting on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, irreparably damaged press briefings. And they claimed that they broke this embargo on confidential reporting. So they said the aggressive approach reporting on the Australian visit has damaged the Sussexes' ability to brief press ahead of trips. The Daily Mail's Australian website broke an embargo by publishing details of the royal couple's movements. I mean, again, the royal couple's movement. They're not a royal couple, Guardian. You know, what are you doing here? 5 days before, I'm just sub-editing them as we go. 5 days before they landed in Melbourne, despite that information being strictly non-publishable until they arrived. The Mail reported under wraps details about the location of the stops in Melbourne, Sydney and Canberra, as well as the background notes and Q&A against the instructions given to media by the royal pairs team. The Guardian has been told the Sussex's media office complained, resulting in the Daily Mail taking down the report. Sources close to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex also alleged the Daily Mail followed the advanced security team from the airport and reported on their movements, with fears that the safety of Harry and Meghan was compromised. The breach will have a major impact on the way the couple deal with all media in the future, as it showed the tradition of embargoed information is not respected by some media, sources said. The leak meant that Harry and Meghan's itinerary had to be changed at the 11th hour, and that the police involvement in their security had to be increased, an unpopular aspect of the pair's trip to Australia, which was criticised as a waste of taxpayers' money. Okay, so at the very end, Link, you realise what this is all about. Oh, they have to blame someone. They have to blame someone on the big police protection costs. I know, we'll blame the Daily Mail. I mean, Link, this is also embarrassing, right? They're a private couple going on a private trip. Like, release your itinerary if you want to, but don't expect the media not to report it. This is not a governmental thing. This is not like when Trump or Starmer or whatever travels to Ukraine and the information is embargoed and there's a genuine national security connection to it. It's like, you're just tourists, okay? You're tourists. Now, you can open up to us about where you're going if you want to. But again, I just found this so pathetic.